Yeah, where I come from, you don't put your business out on the street. So, you all think me and Keaton get along, but we fight viciously, mostly over his love of Pizza Hut baked wings. We go at it all the time about this. I'm like, we got to boycott Pizza Hut. He's like, no, the baked wings. But finally, they went too far, even for Keaton. So let's get some background. There's already a boycott of Pizza Hut ongoing. So let's,
there's the age-old question: do you separate the artist from the art?
Right?
And that's
true.
Kind of,
it's true.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut has become
what I've been
for
wrestling
Keaton.
with.
Pizza Hut is basically the Bill Cosby of fast food. Right? Can you still enjoy the Cosby Show, or is it forever ruined? Don't eat at Pizza Hut. Why the chain is facing a worldwide boycott. Pizza Hut is facing consumer boycotts after the chain reportedly provided free meals to soldiers on Israeli military bases. On January 19th, Pizza Hut Israel reposted an Instagram story from user Alex Schultz that depicted two smiling soldiers holding stacks of Pizza Hut pizza boxes, implying the chain had provided the meals to soldiers. The story expired after 24 hours and can no longer be viewed on Instagram, but the Cuds News Network got a hold of it before it disappeared. So here are those pictures of Israeli soldiers expressing gratitude to Pizza Hut franchises in Israel for providing free meals to military bases. All right, it gets better. In May 2017, Pizza Hut came under fire after an advertisement was shared online by the chain's Israeli branch. The ad appeared to mock Palestinian prisoners who were on a hunger strike. The ad used a photoshopped image of a prisoner eating Pizza Hut pizza inside the cell. And yes, we have the picture. This is what Zionists think is funny. This is what passes for humor in Israel. You're gonna break a strike. Isn't pizza better? That's the joke. They break the hunger strike for the Pizza Hut. These are the jokes, people. As my partner often says, this is why Israelis are the only not funny Jews on earth. You cannot be a funny fascist. It just doesn't work. Social media users and advocacy groups, including the BDS movement or Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions, began using the hashtag Boycott Pizza Hut in response to the ad. Pizza Hut later deleted the ad, apologized, and fired the PR firm that created the ad, according to news reports. Okay, so that alone is enough reason to give up the baked chicken wings that my erstwhile partner so adores, but he's willing to do it, so you should be too. But that's only the beginning for me. So we talked a little bit.
They just have like a smokiness about them, like it's not like a fried wing where it just tastes like fried chicken with sauce on it.
Are you trying to talk them out of it? Are you trying to talk them out of the boycott?
I'm just explaining why I was as conflicted as I was for as long as I was, right. Because it's such a unique thing, All
right. Well, maybe we can get somebody who used to work there, given all the people getting fired from Pizza Hut, and they can give you the recipe.
My first job was at Pizza Hut.
Yeah, are you serious?
So I know a little bit.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Okay, so as you all know, the wage in California went up to $20. And I want to point out, because I've looked at a lot of the news coverage, and it's just full of these stories of workers being fired. I want to point out because I know the Jimmy Dore audience is very sophisticated about media manipulation, is very skeptical of narratives about the jab, which is very safe and effective, as we all know. Skeptical of narratives about war, skeptical of narratives about the economy, about Wall Street, about corporate greed. For some reason, there seem to be a mix of people, some people, who are not skeptical when there's this minimum wage increase, and you're only told stories about people who lose their job and not one story about someone who can now feed their kids. which presumably would be the majority, because if I remember correctly, the article we were reading from the other day said there were 500,000 fast food workers in the state. And from what I've seen, you're talking about maybe a few thousand workers at most. I mean, it's not all accounted for. What I've seen is maybe 3,000-4,000 in total from all the different businesses. So honestly, even on its own terms, if what you were saying is 500,000 workers, 5,000 lost their jobs so that 495,000 would get a living wage, I would consider that a reasonable cost of that policy in and of itself, even on its own terms. The hysteria about $9 French fries, that's not going to happen because they need people to buy the French fries, right?
Right.
So you can't charge $9. You could try. No one's going to buy them, so they can't. Everyone's a capitalist until market forces take effect. You can't do that. Now, we did show In-N-Out Burger raised the price of the double, my go-to, by what, 25 cents?
Yeah.
What was it, 25 cents? All right. I think we can manage that. The most draconian thing I saw was some chain was talking about increasing prices for a food item by $1. I mean, that's still well within worth it. Now, should you be eating this food at all? Well, that's a whole other question, but that's for a health segment, not for an economic segment. All right, so California Pizza Hut lays off every delivery driver as wages rise to $20. All right, so Pack Pizza LLC, operating as Pizza Hut, said in a federal Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act notice filed with California's Employment Development Department that the company has made a business decision to eliminate first-party delivery services and, as a result, the elimination of all delivery driver positions. Similarly, Southern California Pizza Company has also announced layoffs impacting about 841 drivers across the state. Now, I don't personally understand why, and I saw this in another article. For some reason, it's mainly pizza companies that are firing people. Now, I've had your pizza out here, and maybe these companies don't do that good because of the quality of the pizza. But it seems very strange that it's concentrated in this one industry.
I think it's the drivers, right? Because
don't they all use drivers? Don't they all use drivers? The fast food
thing
companies?
is, I mean, what pizzerias started doing is they started basically getting rid of their drivers and just putting orders in through like DoorDash and Grubhub. Basically, when they got a delivery order on the phone, they would order from their store
right
on Grubhub, and a Grubhub driver would just come and take it.
Yeah.
That's how they would do it.
Okay.
So I'm surprised. So maybe that's why they're able. Maybe they figure delivery drivers are the first cut to make because you can replace those with the gig workers.
Honestly, that's another argument. Like if you're just a kind of free market libertarian minded person, they didn't really eliminate these jobs. I mean, they did as a dedicated job, but somebody's still doing it. Somebody's still getting paid to do this. You shifted it to a different group of workers. That's something I was actually going to ask you about because you have experience being this kind of driver.
They're just not.
So these jobs are going
anymore.
to those. No, that's what they say they're going to do. They're going to use like
right.
Uber
So if you get a
Eats
$50 order from a customer, right? Customer calls up. Okay, I need $50 worth of pizza delivered here. Okay, you take their payment over the phone. Then you, as the store, open your Grubhub app. You order exactly what they ordered from Grubhub. So you're laying out your money, but it's coming back to you on the app minus a commission for the restaurant. And you're getting the money from the customer. And then a driver comes and they take the food. And what a lot of scumbag people do is they will not tip the driver very much. They'll keep the driver tip that the customer gave them. And they'll tip the driver next to nothing when they order it to send it out. So that's one way they can sort of work around that. It would surprise me if like nobody is like delivering these pizzas anymore.
Oh no! It says in the article they are. They are. They just shifted to those delivery services.
Yeah, to the
so there are workers being paid to do this. It's a different set of workers. You shifted it to a different group of workers, but the money is still getting paid to do this. Workers are still getting paid to do this. They didn't eliminate the jobs per se. They eliminated people for whom this is all they did was deliver pizza instead of an Uber driver takes a ride to the airport, then delivers a pizza and so on. That's who these jobs are now going to go to. The decision impacts Pizza Hut locations in Sacramento, Palm Springs, Los Angeles, and other areas. For the affected delivery drivers, some of which Newsweek has reached out to via social media channels, the change comes as a shock, with many expressing dismay over the severance offers and the timing of the layoffs. One driver who had been working for Pizza Hut for 9 years anonymously spoke to Business Insider and said that he was offered $400 severance if he stayed on staff until his February 5th layoff date. Whenever I read stuff like that, it reminds me of the Eddie Murphy joke about how his grandmother would make you go get the stick to beat your own ass. I mean, can you stay on so that you can lose your job after February 1st? In the context of the Pizza Hut layoffs, the California franchises and its customers will rely on third-party delivery apps like Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash for deliveries. Newsweek has reached out to Pack Pizza LLC as well as Southern California Pizza Company LLC via email for comment. Pizza Hut, this part's important, folks, part of publicly traded company Yum Brands, Inc., which owns brands like KFC and Taco Bell. Taco Bell, which is not allowed to identify its taco filling as beef because it isn't. They have to call it taco filling, so good luck with that. That's reason not to eat it alone. Acknowledge the recent changes in delivery services at some franchise restaurants, saying that its franchisees independently own and operate their establishments and adhere to local market dynamics while complying with federal, state, and local regulations. Okay, so translation, don't boycott us. That's why are they saying this? Why are they saying corporate office is not responsible? So let me show you what how much, because this is the argument that I think people have been trained to make over decades by very dishonest actors who want workers to go out and get the stick to beat their own asses. That's what they want you to do. So they want you to get mad at these workers. And you have all these people going, see, people don't understand the economics. That's how they... Motherfucker, you want to see how economics works? I'll show you how economics works. Yum Brands gross profits 2010 to 2023. Man, this company's really hurting, aren't they? All right, so 2021, gross profit $4.859 billion, 17.2% increase. Next year, $5.097 billion, a 4.9% increase from 2021. 2022, $5.302 billion, a 402% increase. And for 2023, the increase was $5.302 billion. Billion. Okay, so what they just did with these drivers is something they would have done eventually either way. They're always going to look for a way to fuck the workers. Any way that they can save money. So if you keep fighting this zero-sum game where you attack workers every time they try to get more, and then when they whack them, you side with the company, you know, eventually they're going to pay you in nutrient paste and diapers. Okay? That it's not, they're not all of a sudden going to say, oh, the workers didn't ask for more wages, let's get more workers. They're always going to try to eliminate you. It has nothing to do with profit. As you just saw, Yum Brands profits go up every year. Now you're going to say, well, but these are franchisees with an LLC. Okay. How does Yum Brands make its money? The franchisees pay them.
Yes, of course.
If you hit those franchisees so that they can't pay them, you're going to hurt Yum Brands. Yum Brands could have stepped in and said, you know what, let's keep these delivery drivers working. They're not going to do that because they want their stock buybacks.
Yeah, and make them work it out.
Make them work it out.
Yum Brands take a smaller cut from the franchisee if you're worried about the franchisee. By the way, a lot of these franchisees are pieces of shit too. Like that, what's his name? Roderick owns 18 McDonald's in California. What do you think? That guy's a hands-on worker?
Right.
No, he's a numbers cruncher, right? They are the I won't say the petite bourgeois is probably a rung above that, right? But if that's too militant for some of you, fine. Look, point is, as you said, and as I said on the last time, it's up to the workers to demand what they need to live.
Yes.
Everyone above you, let them work it out. Oh,
Exactly.
We're going to have to forego a new HVAC system. Fuck you, pay me, right? Goodfellas style, right? Oh, we're not going to be able to cut the grass. Fuck you, pay. Figure it out yourselves. Figure it out yourselves. Young brands will have to take a smaller cut from the franchisee if it comes to that. Let them work that out. You need to demand what you need to live. Otherwise, you're not going to live.
Yeah, listen. Whoever the hell the person is who runs end wokeness, they're fucking counting their money, motherfucker. They don't give a shit about you.
Right.
They don't care about you. Yeah, they get Elon's paying them whatever to gin up your fucking culture war outrage. And then with the culture war outrage, and I cannot recommend enough once again, Thomas Frank's book, What's the Matter with Kansas? This is a game they've been playing on the working class for decades. We talk a lot about what the liberal class elites do. And, we kind of want to cover, Taibbi put out this tweet about how he doesn't cover Republicans because it's pretty well covered by the general media. And that's true for me as well, for us as well, I would say. But it's not that we don't recognize that. People have been hoodwinked, man. They've been hoodwinked. They've taken these liberal elite culture postures that people rightly hate, and they've tied them to an economics that tells working people to go get the stick to beat their own ass. So when workers get a pay increase, you're not mad at the C-suite. You're not mad at the executives. You're not mad at the rich people who fired these drivers. You're mad at the drivers. You're mad at the drivers. Man, a lot of these people like to talk about soy boy. If that's not a soy boy, I don't know what is. That is a soy boy, man. When you're going to get out your knee pads to go fillet the C-suite at Yum Brands because these drivers lost their job, you must be injecting soy all day if that's who you're going to get mad at.
Yeah, exactly. No. And I don't understand. Well, where did the end wokeness guy end up chiming in on this? This is not about wokeness. This is about dollars and cents.
Well, that's probably who pays him. Who pays
exactly.
him? What's he being paid to tell you? This is what I don't get. I had people tell me, because I talked about the factories that got shipped out. Well, the same thing's going to happen here. How the fuck are you going to offshore a Pizza Hut?
Yeah, no.
What are you talking about? The factories. And by the way, they have factory jobs in Germany. You know why? They don't let corporations write the trade deals because they have publicly financed elections. The corporations literally wrote NAFTA. Clinton signed a trade deal that shipped the jobs overseas. That didn't have to happen. People have been conditioned to believe that the economy is a force of nature that can't be controlled. But we have a lot of examples of countries that have managed their economies differently, where they still have factory jobs. If you want to look at a country like Germany, with far greater social welfare benefits for the society than anything at the height of the union movement Americans have ever enjoyed. Keaton?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to add to that. That was perfect.
All right. Well, so listen. These are our demands from Pizza Hut. We are calling for a boycott of Pizza Hut. These are the 3 demands. You get a lot of movements these days that don't have any demands. The Women's March. I call that the Seinfeld March. It was a march about nothing. Here's your actual demands. Apologize for past collaboration with the criminal apartheid state of Israel and denounce the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Promise to refuse any future collaboration with the Israeli government or the IDF. Hire back all workers in California who have been unfairly terminated by Pizza Hut LLC in order to avoid paying a living wage. Now, if you want to stand up for workers, for your class, if you are indeed working class, if you're not, like I said, go to Home Depot and get that moat building kit and hope it keeps the peasants out when they come for you. But for the rest of you, boycott Pizza Hut. This is, you want to know how you impact your condition? You're absolutely right that these companies, if you increase their costs, will take it out on the workers. You're absolutely right. There's only one way to counter that. You have to hurt them worse than they would be paying those workers. They have to know that if they do things like this, not just them, let me speak in a language everyone will understand. You see what happened with Target? You see what happened with Bud Light? You can boycott people on a culture war basis, right? And look what happened. You see anybody doing those kinds of ads now? You see anyone doing those kinds of campaigns now? Okay. What if you did it to Pizza Hut? What if you did it to Pizza Hut over wages instead of to Bud Light over Dylan Mulvaney? Think how much more it is going to affect you personally than Dylan Mulvaney does if you shut down Pizza Hut because they fired these workers. What's that going to do to the next company that wants to fire workers? You're right. They will get rid of the workers if they can. So it is up to you as a working class movement to make sure that they can't without suffering, and to make sure that they all know they can't do it without suffering. Now, I'm not going to say this doesn't come without sacrifice. Baked wings are going to have to go.
Those are not Pizza Hut baked. Those are not Pizza Hut wings. You took that from somewhere else.
Well, they were misrepresented as Pizza Hut wings.
Misinformation. Yeah, you took that from. Yeah, no. See now you've gone too far. Now you've gone too far. Well, those are lifted from somewhere else.
And for anyone who thinks that these theoretical Pizza Hut wings are too much to give up,
lies, absolute lies, slander.
I want to remind you what the labor movements of the past went through. You can look up the Mattawan Massacre, where 10 miners were killed trying to defend their homes from the people who have been hired to kick them out. All right, these are the kinds of things that laborers in the past did. One of my best friend's fathers, he recently passed away. You know, they used to pay people to get their heads cracked open by the strike breakers on the line. He was one of those guys. So I think giving up some shitty pizza and some, according to my partner, very good wings is a lot less than what the guys at Mattawan were prepared to do to secure their rights and the rights for future generations. And that is one to grow on.
Hey, there's still tickets available in Stockholm, Oslo, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Cortland, New York, Oakmont, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Edmonton, Alberta, Vancouver, British Columbia, Denver, Ashland, Virginia, and Athens, Georgia. See you there.